Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art. Of course, you know that because you're on my YouTube channel. And I do think that I made this public. I think I remember to make it public. Last night I did a YouTube video at 8:30 and I forgot to make it public. So it's just a matter of me remembering connect all the dots. So tonight I invited 3 people and 1 person accepted the invitation. Jerome Hebert. Thank you, Jerome, for joining me.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
I'm glad to be here.
The Sane Environmentalist on YouTube, and he is he's actually the other host of one of the other 2 hosts of the Age of Fission. We've broken it up into 3 people. Like he does Thursday this term, as long as my school term stays the same, and we're gonna. He said he will switch it out according to what my schedule is, which is why I love that. So thank you, Jerome.
Yeah, I'll be doing Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah. Yeah.
This week, Wednesday will just be me rambling, and Thursday we've got Donnie Gilmore.
Man, your sound sounds so bad. You're like lagging. Your internet is slow.
That's might be, yeah, I got a yellow light on my route. You continue to talk. I'll listen.
Okay, well, look, I do have a lot to share, to be honest. You know me, I always have something to talk about. I was thinking about like how it's important for us today. Dave and I talked about it a little bit, about how it's important for us to really still enjoy our lives. There's still a lot of living to do. I mean, just because we're paying attention to this stuff, to watching how our planet is changing before our very eyes. When from Big Sur, this is what it used to look like. Now, I was telling you this, there's a lot of these green ones. I read an article that said some of these sea urchins, this was about 3 articles on my YouTube channel. It's probably here somewhere if you searched all my YouTube videos. But it basically said that some sea urchins will thrive. Actually, I have the article because I used it for school. Some of the sea urchins will thrive. Most of the animals from the radiation will die, like the wasting away the starfish, right? And so I wanted us to see what it used to look like, right? Before it started getting really sick. Like, look how beautiful. Look at this. I mean, that is what it used to look like in Palos Verdes, California. Now, I've been to Palos Verdes, California, and it didn't look like that. It looked kind of half like that, like it was started to decay. And I think I was there like 98, 99. In fact, I left California because of pollution, because it was freaking horrible. And then I was thinking about the tide pools. I came across this because I wanted to see about the sea urchins. I wanted to find that article, and I came across this tide pools. Are they safe? And it's this blogger lady who tells you how to take your kids out safely. But look what she has posted. I will have this inside of our credits at the bottom, but it's a free tide pool table. Anybody can figure out where the low tide is going to be. You just look. So I was looking here because this is my little neck of the woods, Portland, Willamette River, Oregon tide predictions, right? So this is what I was thinking that it was saying, if I'm reading it right. 7:18, 5:14 in the morning to 7:18, that's the tide pool, right? That's the time it's going to be low. This is like when it's the most low, and then it starts to come back out, or one way or the other. I don't know which way is up on this. I can't really. I sat and looked at it, and I thought, Jerome, you might be able to read this, but anyways.
Yeah, link and I'll go over it.
I mean, it just seems to make sense. And then here's 4:40, and then this is the evening. It starts at 3:52, ends at 4:42. That's the low tide at the night. This is the low tide in the evening, or high and low, or maybe one's low and one's high. I can't really read this. Sunrise, sunset, moonrise, moonset. Below and above is blue, and below is pink. But do you see pink? I don't see that pink anywhere on there. Do you?
Nope.
Me either. Okay, so anyways, I guess we'll have to dig into it. But I thought this was a find because, and this is another one. They have all these text tied tiles and mini ones and mini calendars and PDFs. They have all this stuff. It's pretty handy. So that was a pretty good find, except I was a little bit shocked. So then I started doing more research. I wanted to find that article. And look what I came across. I will have this in there. Simple sea urchins yield clues to life. Something about the sea urchins, they're very much like human beings. It has a lot to do with mammals. And that's what this whole thing is about, that the sea urchins are kind of a clue to how we carry on, involving the 2-cell embryo and half. But the way it was talking was like, it's about how we build life and sustain life and grow to adulthood with no apparent ill effect. This is what they were wanting to look at. If those two embryos are separated, 4 urchin embryos can be obtained and grow to adulthood with no apparent ill effect. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is why this is a really valuable, this is the kind of research that they're looking into. Because the fact is, we're in the stew. Now check out this. Then I came across this. This is hilarious. I like this. I went, that's a pretty striking statement. 28 signs that the West Coast is being absolutely fried with nuclear radiation from Fukushima.
Yeah, I see.
This makes it not a scientific statement. Absolutely fried is a hint that this is probably not a person who is scientific about his findings, right? Although there's probably a lot of real information in here. That's the thing about it. And it gets buried. This is the thing that's the most annoying. None of these people are talking about putting gloves on their kids or, they're letting their kids stick their hands in highly radioactive water if you're on the Oregon coast. I'm sorry, but, I asked this of Heidi. Heidi lets her kids go swimming. They live on the coast. She's like, Lonnie, we grew up in Hanford. Like, it's everywhere. We thought we were moving here, and then Fukushima happened. We thought we were moving away. Like, at what point? So they're just careful about it. You just take precautions. And that's what I think is important for us to understand. It's not that it has to be a bad thing. We just have to we have to take care. We have to make sure we don't just do dumb stuff and be stupid. But I mean,
and also keep in mind that there's many dead zones all on the coast as a result of.
There's going to be many dead zones. I mean, honestly, we haven't seen anything yet. So I started to research it. It turns out the thing, they were very vague about who they were. I couldn't find them. Because if it's a straight up place, if it's a straight up online place, they actually have their name and they say who's the, owners, and they give a little bit of history. But this was super vague. So then I said, okay, who funds them? And then I started to look around, and guess what it is? It's very this is why it's not considered a reliable source of news, because it gets a good source of its funding. This guy from Moscow. I mean, he's a Canadian, but, he gets funded by Moscow. So to do this magazine, and it's I don't know if it's good or not. You can look into it. I mean,
scroll back.
It's probably highly opinionated and got its own point of view.
Listen, go back to Wiki.
Huh?
Wikipedia just said that you switch pages too quickly.
Oh, this.
There you go. Now scroll down.
We cannot understand you. You are skipping out, brother.
Yeah, it's because my internet's bad right now.
That's really sad. Well, can you call in? Can you just call in? If you give me, we can call in. I think you can just call in. You don't have to use
What's the number to call? Well, I use the internet on my phone, remember?
Oh, to call, to make your phone calls?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, well then, it's going to be the same thing, won't it?
Yeah, I'll listen to you.
We're just going to have to send more energy your way, that's all. Let our vibes override this thing, man. Well, this is my whole point about what I was thinking about. Like, it's about having a critical mind and yet looking for some of the truth, because this guy couldn't do this magazine if he didn't pull some truth out of there. You know what I mean? He may be highly pointed. It's just like everything. It's like saying any of these journals don't have a point of view. You know what I mean? Like this lady, she's telling you to go take your kids to the tide pool and not talking about radiation or Fukushima, letting people pick up creatures. And I mean, these animals are probably full of radioactive contamination.
Yeah, they absorb it, they filter it.
I mean, it's not like it was a year ago, 2 years ago. We're going on 7 years. Nonstop radioactive contamination for 7 years, Jerome. That's the issue.
I know.
And at what point do people just go, okay, we're going to have to change it up just to, even my own daughter, who I can't talk to this about, like she doesn't like it if I talk to her about it. So, but she has been paying attention because I can't help. She does pay attention to it. You know what I mean? We don't talk about it directly because the kids are around. She doesn't want them freaking out. I'm like, I guess there's a lot of people who think you should talk to your kids about it and just have them understand that it's part of their life. And I think that the kids do get that. It's the R word. Like they know that we've got to be careful. You can't put rainwater in your mouth, period. I mean, I told my grandson was walking like this when it was raining. I'm like, Julian, please don't ever put that rainwater in your mouth. And he's like, why not? And I said, because it has gas and poisonous gas in it. I didn't use the R word. You know what I mean? I just didn't. So I find this kind of weird with you on here because I want to look at your picture, but we have our listeners also there too. So we have a viewer. I wonder if that viewer is you or if it's a real viewer. What do you think?
Am I waving?
Yeah, you're waving. I just mean the viewer. Anyways.
Yeah, well, it's ironic. As soon as we started this call, my internet started getting sketchy. It's been really strong and good all night long until now.
Can I get a witness? Look, this is the thing. They can't get to us. We have to just decide we got more energy. We can make the electric wires work just with our thoughts. That's what I think.
I don't know about that. I wish.
Well, you have to say thoughts are things, you know. Maybe our thoughts will make whoever it is handling it just go to sleep. You're getting sleepy. Well, maybe it's just a bot. That's the thing, is we live in a world full of bots.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have to get clever and do runs around, and that's the only way I can succeed in this.
So do we talk to people who eat fish about the radiation, the R word, the Fukushima thing? Do you?
No, what?
I don't. If they don't know, people know about Fukushima, I think. Do you think that people don't know?
Yeah, they did know about it when it first happened, but now they don't.
Now. But they don't realize that it's still really horrible. They think it's been taken care of, most of them.
Exactly.
And they think that Chernobyl's been taken care of.
Yep, and 3 Mile Island.
And 3 Mile Island. And Santa Susana, and Hanford, and Diablo Canyon, and now San Onofre, and Zion, and Indian Point, and Turkey Point, and WIPP, and St. Louis. I mean, like, gosh, and Niagara Falls. I mean, it's really bad what has happened. I mean, if we start, this is why they don't want us talking about it. By the way, to my listeners here, guess what happened? YouTube will not allow this little thing to have advertisers. It's considered too controversial. I'm not going to contest it because I don't care. People will come and look and listen to it anyways. The good thing is, I think in this is I make an effort to give the link so people can go find the information out for themselves.
Yes.
You know, so all you have to do is take the links. I do have it on, I don't have it on Creative Commons. And if you want a copy, you can email me at nutsforart@gmail. And then I'll give you permission I'll give you the link to it to get into it if you're not some big creep. That's
yes.
Nice, so.
And that's nutsforart@gmail, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Nutsforart@gmail. I keep thinking I want to do one for the Age of Fission, but I think what I am going to do for my listeners is I'm just going to keep on this channel until I really find the time to do another channel, or maybe I should transition, but I don't think I will. I mean, I have the Age of Fission.
You got to build a channel.
Huh?
You got to build a channel. That's how it works.
Yeah, well, like this breaking the nuclear taboo. To me, this is something that we need to just keep, I don't know, talking about, because
agreed.
It's really here. And for these people, that lady, I mean, they don't even think about radioactive contamination. They think it's not that bad. For real.
Right.
They think it's really
I can't. That's the reason I'm doing my trip, is so that I can see for myself.
Well, you're not going to see. That's the point, Jerome. You're not going to see. What you're going to see is not much. You know what I mean? Like, you might see barren beaches, maybe. But I mean, you won't be able to feel it. You won't be able to taste it. Everything looks the same. That's the weird part. Like, you're following that guy in Japan. He goes around with his Geiger counter. It's beautiful there. It looks really beautiful, but it's highly radioactive.
Yeah, so apparently plants aren't affected like we are.
The plants are affected like we are. The plants get affected, but the plants get affected in a different way. Like in Chernobyl, the leaves don't decompose. They just stay the same. They don't break up. They have discovered there is no bug life in Chernobyl, none. There's no decomposed ground because there's no mulching. It didn't mulch.
That'll kill everything.
Huh?
If you don't have insects, that's it.
Well, what happens is the plants want to grow. So the plants are growing, and some of them are dead. Some of them are like statues. It's a weird place, like bushes and shrubs. You know, the earth keeps going. It keeps digging in. It wants to remediate it. So that's the thing. It will remediate it after hundreds of thousands of years. Thank you very much.
Yep.
So
yeah, there's still pieces of equipment sitting out in those woods that are super highly radioactive that they used.
There's people that go through Pripyat and go swimming and go in there and eat the food, and eat the fruit, and say, hey, I'm fine. Let's see them in 5-10 years and see how fine they really are. It's not fun.
Exactly.
I mean, let's look at this picture of Larry Bergen once again. This is Larry Bergen. And this is what happened to him. Let me show you what happened to him. He worked at this factory where uranium dust fell on him. After 10 years, he was fine for a long time, and then this started happening. Big rashes, painful rashes. And then he started getting really sick. There was a period in his life where he was just so sick. And the company wanted to deny. Huh? He sounds better. He's been on my show a couple times. You may want to interview him. He's really awesome. I can send you a copy of all of this, actually. He'd love for us to figure out a way to get it up on the air. And He's done all of this by hand. He has not had a computer at all. So it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
I feel lucky that that's the one good thing about my radio show and doing all of this, was that I've met some really awesome people. And by the way, I see we're just a little bit up on time here. I want to give a shout out to some of my friends in St. Louis, and especially to one friend of mine. I'm not going to say their name, but I found out today somebody has bone cancer that is from St. Louis, somebody that I really love and care about. And I hope that they get over it quickly. I hope there's a cure for it and they can get strong and get better. Because that was really like, oh my gosh, felt my heart just go crack. That was hard.
Yeah.
So anyways, but this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen to all of us. And, this is where life is. This is why they're searching for a cure for it so fast. They want that cure for cancer. That's why this article that I found was so fascinating. Let me see. Where's that one? What's it called? The sea urchins. The one about the sea urchins from the New York Times from 1984, the simple little sea urchins. This is what this whole thing was about, is how is one of the best creatures for the studying of the biology of embryos, about how to recreate life. And so I think that is actually where a lot of what they're going to do, because they think they're going to geoengineer us all. And I guess they are.
Yeah.
I guess they are. I guess they're getting their way in a little bit, huh? But not really.
Well, I'm seeing
that's the thing.
Consistent, persistent contrails every morning now when I get up. One plane go over and leave a little short contrail, and then I watch another plane go over.
Do you take pictures? Do you videotape it and post it up on YouTube?
No, but I'll start doing that.
I've done that. If you look on mine, I have some where I've had one where I was argued with a friend of mine who did not believe in them. And one day I saw this guy going around in circles. And when I did it, they said, well, they were just circling around the Eugene airport because they couldn't go land. I'm like, blowing out smoke in circles over the city? No. Like... It's funny that people don't get this, that this is a big, gigantic, that's another part of it, but that's for another day. But let's end here, Jerome. I don't want to go on for too long. It's already half an hour. I always want to do it for 20 minutes, but then we end up speaking for another 10 more minutes. So anyways.
All right, Lonnie. I hope you have a good night.
Put your courage feet on.
Goodbye, anybody watching. There you go.
There's one viewer. Bye, viewer. See ya. Bye.
Bye.